live in BBCRM. So these will be pulled into Sims, but we'll walk through each of the phases of the tracker and each of the cases. And so for each phase or case of the tracker, we have an external article, which is what the student will see if they log into the self-help portal. They'll see the graphic of the tracker and the external article below it. They will also, if they call in via the IVR, they will hear the script, the external script of this tracker, read aloud over the phone. And then the way that the IVR goes, they hear the script and they say, did this answer your question? You know, if yes, then you can hang up. If no, then it comes to you guys. So keep in mind that when the call actually gets to you, the student, if they have a case in the tracker, depending on which way that they went, student accounts, financial aid, or admissions, they will have just heard that script read aloud. So of course you don't want to start off by reading that script again. But those are the two ways that the student will access the tracker. Now within BBCRM, we've got the three trackers here, so admissions, financial aid, and student accounts. Since we're focused on financial aid, we'll start there. So phase zero is what is displayed or read aloud when there's no phase found for that student. So what we've done here is our records indicate that we have not received a FAFSA from you. You must complete an application at www.fafsa.gov and include WSU's school code. I'm not going to read that. We begin processing our financial aid applications in February, and you should expect to hear from us in March. So as we've gone through testing, we have not found a whole lot of users in phase zero. So just keep that in mind. Any questions? All right, so as Stephanie Hunter said, within each phase, so this is phase one, apply for financial aid, we have different cases. And so I'm going to pull up, don't be too intimidated by this, this is our internal document that we've used to set the logic and everything for this. And so this is going to help you guys jog your memory as to what we've actually set up as well as we talk through these cases. All right, so the first case, and this is phase one. We see it's highlighted here in the requirements document. We have 4 cases in phase one. So case one, this is our external article. You must be fully admitted into a degree-bound program before we will be able to evaluate your application for financial aid. Please apply for admission at wichita.edu/apply and allow up to 2 business days after you are admitted for us to continue processing your aid application. If you have previously been admitted, you will need to reactivate your admission status at mywsu.wichita.edu. Select the Home tab, and then under Student Tools, select Student Reactivation. Please allow up to 2 business days after you are reactivated for us to continue processing your aid application. So that's the external article. And so our business process here is that the student is not admitted to the school yet. So that's what the student will see. That's sort of our official answer to the student. And now what the financial aid office at WSU has been helping us with is the internal instructions. And so what we'll see in Sims, what you guys will see in Sims is both. So this is the wrong phase and case, so just ignore what this is. But you'll see the internal article here, and then you'll see the external below it. So that's what the student sees, and then this is our internal article. So for phase one, case one, we're first going to confirm admission status under academic records and registration tab, admissions, and then student acceptance status. So this is the wrong example, but we would go over here to this tab.
Question.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Oh,
Yes.
Third question.
Oh, no.
Bless you. And so we would come here. This is the wrong example. But we would make sure that the student acceptance status is accepted. You guys are familiar with internal instructions? Okay. All right, so we would follow these steps, and then we've got here, if we do need to escalate, we've got our escalation template. Should open up here. So this is pretty basic. Yeah. So we would open our escalation template, update everything, send the escalation canned response. This is just information about where to escalate, which path to escalate to. So if it's inactive, we would go to the registrar. If it's undergrad, we would go to undergrad. If it's graduate, we go to graduate. Pretty straightforward.
I have a question, and maybe this will be addressed later in the
Sure.
week with training, but if we see the status like accepted, and say the student says, I don't know if I've been accepted, I haven't heard anything yet, are we allowed to tell them that, or is that something that
That's a
we
good
won't
question.
know till they come later in the week to train?
What now?
You
I'm
tell
sorry,
them.
it was an admissions type question.
What was the question?
If if the student calls in and we're going through this and we say, you have to be accepted, and they say, well, I applied, but I don't know if I'm accepted, and we see that they're accepted, are we allowed to tell them, you've been accepted, you should, be hearing something?
Yeah, there's something that they'll have to clarify it for you for sure. Gina may be able to do it. I think that we just can't give them their My WSU ID number, which we won't necessarily be doing. We can't give that to them over the phone.
Okay, so we can never give them their ID number
You
over the
can
phone?
tell them that they are admitted and should receive your letter soon. I mean, that would be a very generic, but you are safe to do that.
Okay.
And the tracker will indicate that, the admissions tracker will indicate that, and actually the
Oh,
external
okay.
language will tell them what to say.
Tell them.
If they're not admitted, it actually doesn't say you're not admitted, it gives you language
you're
to
not.
say, it's still pending, you should receive notifications soon, versus admitted, congratulations, you're admitted, or
Okay.
something. And
Yeah.
it's external.
It's-
so
So
it's
to
okay.
get
not-
into the admission, when the admission folks are here, let's ask
We'll
that
do that.
again,
Okay.
just to make sure. The admissions tracker, they didn't want us to really tell students that they were not admitted and have to deal with all of that. That would be an escalation.
Yeah. We don't want to dash their dreams.
Exactly, or deal with it well. But as sort of most of the things, so what the impression I've gotten from WSU is most of the things that we have here in Sims we are allowed to share with the student. They've made sure, in the integration to not send us data that they don't want us to
Okay.
explain. So that's a good rule of thumb, but let's bring it up when we get Chrissy on site. All right, any questions about phase one, case one? Julie or Sheila, do you have any other explanations about, this is pretty straightforward at this point. All right, case two. We're looking at student offered but not accepted. This is actually one of the cases, so moving down here in our requirements document, we do not expect any students to ever fall into this phase in case. So what we'll see here, we'll remove this, but this is just telling us that we don't expect any students to ever fall into this case. And then the article, the external article that we'll update. Tim, can you make a note for me to go through and update these KB articles? Just, I should be able, just the ones that we don't expect students to fall into. The external article will just say, I see that you may need some help, please contact the One Stop. So if we do ever see students that are in these cases where we don't expect them to be, we'll need to escalate because there's something going on either with their data that's putting them into this phase in case where they shouldn't be.
Okay. And the tracker will tell us to escalate.
Right. So what we've got right now, so I'll update this a little more, is WSU does not receive a decision back from the student. So the way that the logic works, we'll never have a student that falls in that case. But just in case if they are, that'll be an escalation. All right, so that's case two.
We have
Oh my gosh, that would be
air conditioner here a lot, and you can,
the person.
ceiling kind of goes in with their hair.
All right, so case three, the student is in a non-eligible academic program. I'm academic program you have chosen, and then this is actually, this is another thing that we're working on, is gonna dynamically populate based on the academic program that we're pulling from Sims. So it's gonna say, art history or whatever that is not eligible for financial aid. You may change your academic program at mywsu.wichita.edu and select under the Home tab, under Student Tools, select Change my major minor. Please allow up to 2 business days after the change of your major has been approved by Wichita State University for us to continue processing your aid application. Case 3, internal. Step 1, inform the student that they can fill out a request form online to change their major. And then it's the same instructions there. So Julie and Sheila, is there anything else that we should add for non-eligible academic program? In terms of internal, it seems pretty straightforward. Is there any situation with these that we would need to escalate, or should we call out anything else in this internal article?
Nothing that's an 80%er.
Okay. So that was case 3. And then case 4 is if the ICER is not received. We show that you are admitted, however, we do not have your FAFSA application on file, or your FAFSA was rejected by the federal processing. If you have not yet submitted your FAFSA, please sure to go do so. If you have already submitted your FAFSA, please review student aid report and make the appropriate corrections. Once submitted, please allow 4 business days for us to receive your aid application. You'll be notified when your application has been received. Internal instructions. We first need to go and make sure their ICER load activity, confirm that, and then confirm the checklist items. And make sure that they have completed their FAFSA more than 4 business days prior. And then if the student doesn't